repeat myself, Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for a week. And then I'm asking for at least a day or two. At
minimum. You decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow.
6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The extremely long court process for YNW Melly's case is now about to be over, as the prosecutors have had enough and are ready to just sentence YNW Melly to life in prison. The court day today started with Melly walking in looking very angry, and he also had no haircut, but the mood would quickly change when the judge began talking about releasing him from jail. It would be reported YNW Melly has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days, leaving everybody inside of the courtroom, including the judge and Melly, very surprised. No, but let me repeat myself, Mr. Diones has to make an informed decision about who he wants as lawyers to be. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days, so how long would you like to be able to make that decision? I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the PR sheriff's office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for I'm asking for at least a day or two decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow, as this new judge could not believe that YNW Melly has been sitting inside a jail with no conviction for 2,159 days. He straight up told the prosecutors, give me a final reasoning why he shouldn't be free tomorrow, or I'm releasing him on a bond, as the prosecutors have been investigating one YNW Melly's lawyers, which ends up delaying the entire court case. It would be announced one of YNW Melly's defense attorneys, Raven Liberty, is being investigated for allegations of witness tampering, as the rapper is awaiting a retrial. But what's scary is no one actually knows if she's being investigated or not, or if the prosecutor submitted the paperwork for it just to have Melly's trial delayed to make him sit inside a county jail even longer. However, it would then be revealed why they were delaying it, as on October 26, 2018, WW Sack Chaser and Juv passed away, with prosecutors claiming that YNW Melly committed the crime. However, there's only one person beside Melly and Borland that know the actual truth. This would be Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton. After the feds investigated Mariah's iCloud, they noticed suspicious activity relating to YNW Melly, forcing her to not testify in the trial, which is known as witness tampering. This carries a life sentence in prison regardless if Melly actually took Sack Chaser in Juvia, filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence. If there's a conviction, there is a likelihood chance where YNW Melly's lawyers beat the case of Sack Chaser and Juvi's passing, but if Melly is found guilty of witness tampering, he will still go to prison for life. The feds began their investigation on Mariah after people in Melly's hometown began speaking a lot about the situation with Sack Chaser and Juvie, as everyone was gossiping that Mariah had involvement with the crime, driving YNW Melly away from the crime scene when it all went down, as this resulted in WWJV's father doing his own investigation, asking around town, speaking with people from all areas. He learned that Melly was using code words against Mariah to make her show up to Melly's original trial. There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person. Alike to me, they going through extreme measures, try to cover up and convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using cold words like Rihanna, and they said Rocky's baby mom, and if found guilty YNW Melly will be sentenced to life in set-up prison just for witness tampering charges alone. With this information being released in the court files, it answers the question on why Melly has been treated so poorly inside a jail, as an interview from Melly's mother made the claim that Melly has not been allowed to use a phone or even look at his own mail inside of jail, which is illegal. My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone, they have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail. They don't give it to him. But if the evidence is true that YNW Melly was using the jail phone to commit witness tampering, that's why they have been not allowing him to use it anymore. They wouldn't be holding him against using the phone if they didn't have hard evidence supporting their claims, which is why it's extremely concerning that YNW Melly could be going to life in prison just for witness tampering alone due to this. Jamie King would reveal she feels absolutely heartbroken for her son. She feels helpless as he's not even being treated as a human inside of jail. When you saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life as a mother, how did that make you feel? It's heartbreaking. It make me feel completely helpless. Brower Shar's office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him and the jail. They make their own rules, and I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too. This however got a lot of media attention, especially from people in the industry. Charleston White reacted, sharing, "This is how YNW Melly should be living. He shouldn't be getting special treatment because he's a famous rapper. He allegedly committed one of the most serious crimes that you could commit. The YNWM. I'm so happy he in jail. Getting mistreated, yeah. I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Homie, oh homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a mothering thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody." As this then got the attention of Bowie, who would speak on the stress that Jamie King has been going through. Was she real, bro? You know she real. She stressed out. I heard she had a yeah, she real. And I I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom and she a good woman. As YNW Melly's lawyers knew that he had to make some sort of move to save his CHCHES of receiving a bond, his lawyers would bring up this evidence from the original trial of Melly texting his ex-girlfriend in real time when the crime was going down, that there was people chasing him down the street and that he was hiding into a bush. That would be the part me saying that someone just the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Joy? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they claiming that this was the only involvement that Mariah Hamilton had, was trying to save her boyfriend at the time's life. But also in the YNW Melly trial was prosecutors admitting there was never a firearm even found supporting the claims that it was a drive-by, as the person with the firearm was miles away just after a few minutes. So the first thing is I didn't have a, so I can't know which I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for disextermination because I don't know what used. Okay, but sadly this wouldn't be nearly enough to have Melly released from jail. And let me explain as what the prosecutor shared next likely sealed the deal on YNW Melly's freedom. They found that YNW Melly was extremely close with King Vav before his arrest, and before V Sly passed away. As a rogue Gold Block member shared a secret that Melly told King Vav, where Melly was asking V for advice on how to handle a situation when your two best friends Sock Jaser and Juvie are coming after you for financial gain. Did V really tell you that? Melly told him that he two friends he ain't come out and say like we got it to an argument, and so you know if you know when people can say something without saying it. And so he told me like once I posted what I posted, he Van was mad at me, bro, why you put there bro, we the BAM. I'm like, you sit up here like you know the love we got, you do this for us, but you going to trust that his two friends and he said was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why you still around them? As the name YW is a registered business LLC where YNW Melly and Borland performed concerts, sold merch, did promos and things in that nature for companies in exchange for money. That money would be funneled through the YW business bank account and then paid out to the 4 YNW members, 25% each. Split evenly 4 ways. Allegedly Melly and Borton weren't liking how Sack Chaser and Juvie were doing zero effort but being paid the same amount of money just because they're in YNW, so Melly didn't want to pay these two any more money. And if you know anything about King Von past and how he handled his own situations, you can likely guess the advice that V would have given YNW Melly. To handle it, this was the missing piece of evidence the prosecutors were missing in the original trial, which is what was the motive. But when you pair this with evidence found on Mel's phone, this is where it gets bad, as he sent a text message hours after the crime admitting to it. The PZ Gambino account asked him if he was okay and his response was "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji. Okay.